response to Nick Fleming's RV/GCR Intel update August 13, 21, and other RV Intel reality realignment by Tank claim, on Wednesday, August 11, the emergency broadcast system alert test went out, but only to a small percentage. Apple iPhone blocked the alerts because compliance by the US TV news and media has not been demonstrated. How this would be addressed was unknown. In reality, the FEMA-controlled Integrated Public Alert Warning System was disabled by the interim head of state using the only real quantum mapping system that exists on this planet. IPAWS would have been used as a frequency weapon to force compliance with vaccines, leading into an all-out holocaust. This would have initiated FEMA camps/green zones/internment camps, or what you would more commonly recognize as concentration camps. Claim, there would be a smooth transition of power to Trump and his new cabinet, staff along with Vice President, General Flynn. In reality, this was the plan of the Order of the Black Sun. Much of the military is loyal to Trump because he purportedly brought in funds through the back system, and prophesied to be the savior and ruler of the new world by one of the ascended masters, confirmed in the false representation of information gathered from the predictive analysis technology known as Looking Glass. President Trump is trying to perpetuate the illusion that he's still in command, ready to implement the Black Sun version of the mass extermination of humanity, a plan sold as the solution to the fabricated issue of overpopulation with its false source of global warming. Claim, on August 11, former President Trump and the deep state were prepared to step back into a power position, with Trump being restored as the president, honoring the accurate vote count and choice of the people. In reality, Trump lied to the military, the world, and to the people, never disclosing the source of the funding he brought in through the portable terminal he was in possession of and which he took with him when he vacated the White House. This terminal in fact connects him directly to the back system, which in turn connects to the military and intelligence systems, the global financial system, and the quantum mapping system. Where Trump lied is in portraying that he was the one in control of the back system. This week Kimberly and Godwin corrected this disinformation by sending out recordings to every white room in the world, as well as military leaders and relevant personnel. The video recordings show Trump using this terminal in the White House as he connects with Godwin, obtaining her advice and permission to draw down funds, as well as verify essential information. Trump never admitted to anyone he was working with Godwin directly, and instead used his illusion of power to fuel his own Black Sun agenda. This counter move by Godwin supplies proof that she is the one in control of the quantum system, the global financial system, and the intelligence and military systems. Claim, the internet and telegram would not go down. The Starlink quantum satellite communication system, critical for the QFS and internet, would be connected to all countries by Wednesday evening, August 11th. Everyone will be getting emergency alerts on their phones, TVs, radios and internet. It will override all other broadcasts and could last for several hours at a time. In reality, Starlink is not quantum, and it is not functioning. Starlink is not, nor has it ever been connected to a quantum financial system, QFS. A quantum financial system that manages strictly financial transactions does not actually exist. There is a quantum mapping system, sometimes called the World System, that used to be controlled by the World Council. But the World Council has been eliminated along with their access, control, and ability to in any way influence operations on this planet. The quantum mapping system continues to control the functions stated above, and is fully controlled by Godwin. Claim, up to 8 announcements would take place over the next 3 days. Do not to be afraid of what's coming, as it is for the safety of our nation for this to unfold. In reality, this phase would have ensured the safety of the deep state at the expense of the people. Trump stated in a meeting on Wednesday that he was going to activate the RV, or currency revaluation. While touted as the solution to poverty and scarcity, the RV would have instead collapsed the global economy while reducing the value of the dollar to a fraction of a penny. Devout currency holders, if allowed to exchange, would have traded one useless piece of paper for another, with only the symbol and numbers changing in the system rather than the actual value. Although the deep state hierarchy was allowed to profit from the Kuwaiti revaluation in the 90s, and individuals who continue to act as public advocates for the RV have been allowed to turn in their currency, they in fact received a stipend as payment to continue perpetrating the RV myth. The reality is that the RV was intended to stall the people who were awake enough to change the world. The exchange centers spoken about for years on public calls, along with the legendary, benevolent Chinese elders, the magical 800 numbers, financial freedom, and unprecedented newfound wealth, were part of a psychological operation designed to stall and divert those who would have implemented positive plans for humanity. If the 800 numbers had been released, and the Black Sun, Dragon family, and deep state military-controlled operation had moved forward, the currency exchange centers, green zones, FEMA camps, and concentration camps would have served the same purpose, to permanently eliminate the segment of humanity that would have enacted positive change. Claim, do not travel to any large cities, especially Philadelphia, for the rest of the month. Military operations will be taking place in many of the major corrupt cities. Where does the claim end and the rebuttal start? People will start rioting once this intel breaks, thinking Trump is a military dictator. He only has 13 days to put this dog down. In reality, if this series of events had taken place as designed, those in the know would have been dragged from their homes alongside everyone else, undoubtedly still parroting that everything was going okay. Would have played the part of military dictator, with General Flynn alongside as vice to boost his credibility with the military. Deep state contract mercenaries situated in Durango, Cheyenne, and in various locations over the world are just now realizing that all roads lead back to interim head of state, Kim Godwin. This latest phase of awakening occurred after the contract fulfillment that was to have occurred on Monday after the Lions Gate, when the Sanhedrin Council was to have attained control of the back system, proved to be non-existent. In reality, all ability to fulfill financial obligations or to access significant funding of any kind has been removed from all levels of the deep state. Claim, the USN gold-backed dollar would be announced sometime between Saturday, August 14th to Sunday, August 15th by Judy Shelton or Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. In reality, the gold-backed or asset-backed standard has already been implemented and is waiting to be fully recognized. The deep state plan was to eliminate currency altogether and implement a banking credit system using the Azure system. This would have used all of our bioanalytic data to create a value based on our activity throughout the rest of our lives. The deep state bankers would have determined each individual's worth based on compliance with their control system, with them as the absolute regulatory authority on all matters. They have begun rolling this plan out in places like France, the Philippines, and New York, restricting access to stores, restaurants, and public venues without proof of vaccination. Vaccines were the key to equipping you to hear, taste, touch, feel, and think how the deep state wanted. For those who want to dismiss this report because you love Trump, you should ask yourself why he still takes credit for bringing the vaccines to market so quickly when they're clearly harmful to people. While he appears to be boasting how he saved so many lives, in reality he's reminding the Black Sun how many lives he's taken. Further, former Secretary Steve Mnuchin was running a child sex trafficking operation out of the U.S. Treasury, and Trump was presented with explicit video evidence proving this fact. Mnuchin used the videos from various child sex parties he hosted to blackmail other government employees to cooperate with the Black Sun agenda. Trump did nothing to stop this from happening. Mnuchin also presented Trump with fraudulent gold certificates, claiming they were from the Chinese elders. When the information was entered into the terminal that Trump kept in his possession, the credentials of ownership went back to Kimberly and Godwin. Claim, yesterday EBS was just a test to see and tag which companies don't comply with the national security rules. Lots of broadcasters, media, internet service providers and Apple and Google didn't comply. They caught them all, again. The way it really is, as we have stated, the EBS, in this case the Integrated Public Warning System, was shut down, and the deep state, including those posing as the White Hats, do not in any way possess control of the system. Tank out. See more at UnitedNetwork.news. Kimberly Godwin explains the real financial system.